Hello, my friends. I am back in McKinney, Texas, and I am going to share a teaching today hi Leah, that we covered today on our coaching call. And it was so powerful, and there was so much great that came from this very simple principle that I just decided, you know what, I just want to share it with everyone out there on Facebook and wherever you're at, whatever business you're part of, whatever you're doing, whatever you're trying to achieve, whatever goals you're trying to achieve. I think this principle in itself can really help you put some perspectives on growth and reaching goals. So I always ask you guys to do something. If you're learning something from this message, I encourage you to comment, like, and share, because by you sharing with others, there's great things that happens. When people share knowledge and wisdom and teachings, there's lots of growth that can come from that. And I'm such a firm believer that if we choose to grow daily, if we choose to put growth into us, into our brains and into our hearts, then we will go above and beyond and we reach many goals out there. So the question that I want to ask you guys today is, I want you to look at your life and I want you to answer this question. What pool of water are you currently living in? What pool of water are you currently swimming in? I want us to all imagine being fish, a whale, a dolphin, or maybe just a small little goldfish. And you might say, gosh, Irma, where are you going with this? Hang in there with me. It will all make sense. Either you are living in this glass bowl where, typically the goldfish live in, and it's very safe and it's secure, it's very comfortable, food is dropped from above. That goldfish really doesn't have to worry much about anything in life. But it's also pretty boring life. There's not a lot of adventure going on. There isn't a lot of growth that will come from living in a glass bowl, but it's very comfortable. Or are you living below the waters and you're out in an ocean and you're experiencing a lot of excitement? And yes, there's a lot of things going on out there, but you're definitely in a different pool of water. So what is the difference? Well, have you ever said this? You know what? I'm going to do this if I'm going to get more knowledge. Once I have more knowledge under my belt, I'm going to go after this thing. I'm going to go after this goal. You know what? Maybe once I have more money, once I have all my finances worked out, I'm going to do this. I'm going to, travel. I'm going to do this thing that I want to do. Once I have all my finances worked out, I'm going to do that. You know what? Once I lose all the weight that I want to lose, I'm going to go out and pursue my goals. Once I lose all the weight, I'm going to go to the gym because I don't want to look foolish walking in there, being 200-300 pounds and, having people look at me kind of funny. So once I do that, I might go after my goal of wanting to be fit. You guys, that is absolutely like a fish, a bowl that is placed on the dock. I want you to imagine an ocean front, and there is this little goldfish that is in this pool of water in the glass bowl. And the glass is really clean, and this fish can absolutely look around and sees everything that's going on. But it has the glass that is keeping this fish from experiencing more. And you're standing there at the dock and you see outside there's this huge ocean, this pool of water. And once in a while you see this dolphin jumping up and all the little dolphins following. And you wonder, gosh, that looks so exciting out there. I wonder if I chose to jump and follow those dolphins, and maybe I would also experiencing life a little different. Maybe you see whale coming up, or you see even a duck swimming out there on the waters. And you're this goldfish in the bowl, standing at the dock, and you're wondering, what would life be like if I lived out there? If I chose to stretch myself, if I chose to jump into that big body of water, and I would experiencing life to its fullest. You see, it's just like us people. So many people choose to live in this bowl where the goldfish lives in. and we watch this glass, basically this glass around us, and we see life happening all around us. You see your friends achieving goals. You're seeing other business partners reaching out and doing the impossible. Ordinary people doing extraordinary things. And you're sitting back and you're saying, do this. Once I do this, once I do this, then I will go. Once I do the next thing, I will go after my goal. And you never do it. You're just watching everyone from the inside of your bowl experiencing life to its fullest. Here's the thing. What if you decided today you're going to do something dangerous? What if you decided that instead of just peeking out like this little goldfish, just instead of peeking out, you're going to take that leap of faith and you're going to jump into the water? Can a goldfish grow in a bowl as long as it stays in that little bowl? Absolutely not. If you want that fish to grow, you got to put it in a bigger bowl. So what if you decided to jump out into the water? Well, is it going to be scary? Absolutely. You see, going after your goal and going after your dreams is probably going to be the most scariest thing you'll ever do, because you're going to have to step out of your comfort zone. You have to get really comfortable about being uncomfortable. You know, for those of you that are working at an at-home business, and, you know, having to make contacts, picking up that phone, inviting people to take a look at what you've got to offer, that is uncomfortable. No question about it. But you know what? That is growth. The more you do it, the more you're going to grow. Are there going to be obstacles? Absolutely. 100%. A fish that swims in the ocean will occur obstacles. There might be a day that a predator comes and that fish has to really swim for its life. But you know what? He probably has stories to tell his friends that night. A goldfish in a bowl where there is nobody else in there will never have stories to tell. Tell you what, a fish that is hunted and escapes and swims for his life, lots of stories to tell. Lots of inspiring stories to tell. Will there be adventures? Oh, you bet there will be adventures. Will a goldfish in a bowl have adventures? Absolutely not. He does the same thing every day. He swims in a circle every day, and once in a while there's food coming down and he goes up there and he gets his food. There's no adventure there. It is that mundane type of life, day in and day out, and just going with the motions. Well, do you think there's adventures below the surface? And the fish that are going out there and hunting for food and searching for things? Absolutely. Yes, I'm about to step on a plane to go to Africa. Am I prepared? Absolutely not. Do I know what's coming at me? No, I don't. Will there be adventures? Yes, there will be. Will there be stories to tell? I bet you I'll have stories for my grandchildren to share with them. I am ready to jump into a bigger pool. Will there be failure? Absolutely. You know what? When you begin to make failure your best friend, you're going to grow like never ever before. I promise you something. When you embrace failure, you will grow like nobody else. If you're always on the top of your class, if you're always winning, if you're always on top, you're in the wrong class, my friend. You ought to have people that you can chase. You ought to have people that you can learn from. And if you don't, change classes. Change something about your environment, because you're not growing. And if you're not growing, you will never inspire anyone else to grow. If you stay the same like this little fish, you will never be able to grow, and you will never be able to impact anybody else's life. If you're comfortable being a goldfish, swimming around in circles and never ever having a challenge or having an adventure coming your way, then so be it. But I don't think any one of you watching this is okay with that. I think each and every one of you want to experience life to its fullest, but it's going to take courage to jump, and it's going to take courage to change your environment. You see, once you choose to change your environment and you choose to change yourself, the greatest things in life will happen. 2.5 years ago, we changed our environment. My husband and I knew if we wanted to survive in our marriage, if we wanted to thrive in our marriage, we had to change our environment. Let me tell you something, you guys. many of you are struggling right now in your marriages. I know that for sure because I know many of you. Maybe it's time to change your environment. Maybe it's time to take a leap of faith and just move somewhere where you don't know anyone and have a brand new fresh start where you have to rely on each other and rely on the God Almighty Yahweh. That's what we did 2.5 years ago. I was scared to death. I was scared out of my mind. I had no idea what I was going to do here in Texas. I didn't know anyone except for one person. But you know what? We chose to jump out of that little pool of water, that comfort zone, and we jumped into the ocean. We held hands and we said, 1, 2, 3, go. We held out our noses and we jumped. And you guys, it has been the best decision for our marriage that we ever made. We didn't just survive, we began to thrive. It has been the best change for our children. I look back and I say, what if we had gone back down to Maine? Gosh, we would have never experienced what we have experienced over the last 2.5 years, having to cling to one another, holding on to one another, crying with each other, growing with each other. It made us who we are today. If you're stuck in something right now, maybe it's time to change your environment and to move into a place where you have to be stretched, where you have to spread your wings and begin to fly and build your wings on your way down. You see, I don't think a whale or a dolphin, as he jumps up and he looks to the dock and he sees that bowl with that little goldfish and he says, gosh, I wish I was in that bowl. I wish I was captured in that little bowl. That little goldfishy, oh, how secure and safe is his life. I bet you for $1,000 that would never happen. I bet you that whale is jumping and going, that poor little fish, boy, what is he missing out on? He cannot even imagine what life looks like over here. And you know, there's so much more to explore in life. There's so much more to go for. And as you jump, and as you take that leap of faith and you don't just like peek out of that little bowl, but you jump down, there's treasures to be discovered, you guys. There's pearls to be found. That means that you're going to discover things about yourself that you never knew you had. There's things that I learned about myself over the last 2.5 years that I didn't think I had. Courage that was so deep within my heart that I know had we not done this leap of faith jump, I would have never known I had that. There will be stories I'll be able to tell the next generation, that I will be able to encourage others because we chose to take that leap of faith and we jumped into the big waters. I want to give you a couple of statements, and it's worth writing them down. You may want to grab a piece of paper and a pen and just jot these down. These are called the growth statements. Sometimes we have to have these in front of us and we have to just stare at them in order to be reminded of what we need to do to grow and to change. If our environment is cold, I will be cold. If my environment is hot, I will be hot. So if I want to grow, then it's time to change your environment. If you want to grow, it's time to change your environment. Spend time with great people. If you want to experience greatness in life, follow great people. Spend time with them. As I was at the conference here a few days ago, I was walking with my husband and we were going to grab something that I needed that night, and I was walking down. My husband and I were engaged in a conversation, and this 25-year-old boy, I call him a boy because I've got a 20-year-old as my son. He stopped me right in my tracks and he says, "Are you Irma Mosby?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "I want to meet you. I have questions for you. Can I walk with you?" And he spent the next 45 minutes with my husband and I and asking questions and wanting to know more. And I thought, you're going to be a great man because you're asking good questions. And he wasn't shy about it, and it took him courage. But there was something about him, and there was something about his eyes that told me I want greatness, and I don't want to live in a little bowl where the goldfish swims. I want to experience greatness. Visit great places. What if you took a leap of faith and you just decided, I'm going to drive somewhere where I can just be disconnected from the world, where I can hear from God, Yahweh himself. Spend a day just being still and being quiet and listening to what your purpose on earth was for. Prayer, worship music, whatever it takes to just listen to the inner voice. Attend great events. Look around you. Where are you? What are events that are happening in your area where you can be challenged for greatness, where you can be challenged for growth? Don't be a fish in a little bowl and swim around in circles and wait for that food to come down. Go out there and go after it. You will not until you change your environment. Read great books. Commit to reading every single day, 10 minutes. 10 minutes a day can change your life. Listen to great speeches. Find someone that you admire and that you love listening to. And spend time listening to great people that have come before us. Great and successful people will leave clues. They love sharing. They love educating others because they know that success is worth sharing. They don't hold on to it. They don't hold it tight. You don't want to be around those people. You want to be around people that want to share their knowledge and they want to share their wealth and they want to share with you because they desire others to discover greatness within them. So here's my question to you guys, my friends. Where are you swimming at? Are you in a glass bowl? Are you comfortable? Are you just waiting for life to finally happen for you? Let me tell you something. If you don't change your environment, it is not going to happen. Or are you ready to make that jump into the big waters where it is unknown, where you don't know what's going to happen? The minute you jump, there might be a predator waiting for you. You might make that courageous call today. Call that person on your chicken list and you say, you know what, I'm going to jump and I'm going to do it. And then you call and that person says no. Are you going to crawl right back into that glass bowl and get back into your comfort zone? Or are you going to say, you know what? Irma told me that failure is great. Failure is something I should embrace. And you know what? I can grow from this. I can learn from this. And you know what? I'm going to put my shoulders back and I'm going to call the next person. And I'm going to call the next person. And eventually going to get a yes. And eventually going to meet someone that says, you know what? I've been praying for an answer and I think you might be that answer. Don't crawl back into that comfortable bowl. Get out there. Experience life. Experience adventure. And you know what happens when you do? You get stronger and you get bigger. And as you experience these great things out there, you're going to encourage others. And you're going to be able to share with others what you did. And when someone comes to you and says, you know what, I feel so stuck in life and I don't know what to do. And you can say, you know what I did on May 9th, 2017? I chose to jump into the great waters. And I decided to leave that little fishbowl behind. This morning, as I was leading my coaching call with my team, I asked that question. 20 people said, we're jumping. 20 little fish decided to jump into the great waters. And you know what? I know that they're going to change many, many lives around them because they chose to make their courageous step to change the environment that they're swimming in. So I hope that many of you, hundreds, maybe thousands of you, will join us in the big waters. Maybe we'll pass each other as we're swimming, as we're going after our dreams, as we're going and chasing our goals. And we'll see each other and we'll high-five each other. And we'll encourage those little fish as they're making the jump to follow us. You guys, I hope today will be a day of greatness for you. I hope today will be a day where you choose to jump. Share with someone that you made that decision. And I'll tell you what, as you're doing that, as I allow God Yahweh to work in my heart and as He continues to give me these messages, as I prayed this morning for a message from Him and He so delivered, I cannot wait to share again with you. So I'm being out there in the waters. Whether there's predators or there's treasures, I'm going after them, and I sure hope you'll join me. Have a great rest of the day.